I'm sorry.
I'd like to agree with the chairman.
Reverse the AT.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir.
241-8405, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be reversed. Prior to filing her initial claim, the claimant worked 2 part-time jobs. The claimant was separated from one employer and filed her initial claim while continuing to work part-time. Section 209.091E of the Act is clear that customary full-time hours is based on what is standard full-time work for the individual, not for the profession, as the AT argued. The claimant normally works 50 to 60 hours per week. Therefore, the 30 hours per week she is currently working is not her customary full-time hours. Reverse the AT customary full-time hours eligible.
This case illustrates very well the tension that exists between 2 subsections of Section 201.091, the provision of our statute that defines the various ways in which an individual may be considered unemployed and thus eligible to file an unemployment claim. On the one hand, Section 201-091B allows a claimant whose reduced weekly income from a reduction in hours falls below 125% of her weekly benefits amounts to file a partial unemployment claim if the reduction in hours was not her fault. On the other hand, Section 201.091E indicates that no matter what the claimant's earnings are, the claimant is not unemployed if she is working her customary full-time hours. Claimants like the one in this case who work 2 or more part-time jobs but lose one of them and thereby experience a reduction in earnings to below 125% of the weekly benefit amount are left in a kind of a limbo. Since agency guidance on the customary full-time hours provision is minimal at best, and since claimants working as many hours as possible is something to be encouraged, I believe we should refer this case to the Office of General Counsel for analysis and have it resubmitted following the review, including the recommendation on how to resolve conflicts between the subsections in question.
I concur with Commissioner Demerson.
Long form dissent. Or are you resubmitting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. It'll be resubmitted.
Sorry about that.
241-9082, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision should be reversed. The claimant currently resides in Bulgaria and is searching for work in that area and other areas. She has an MBA and substantial experience in the types of work for which she is applying. The precedent cited by the AT is not applicable in this case because the claimant is not simply out of town. In case number 1129075, the Commission ruled that the claimant who resides outside the United States may be eligible for benefits if there is sufficient evidence of legitimate work opportunities in the claimant's geographic area. The claimant in this case has easily established substantial work opportunities and should be held available for work and eligible for benefits. Reverse the AT, claimant available for work, and overpayment.
I would affirm the claimant is currently in Bulgaria to be with family. Per appeal number 86-CA-76, because the claimant is out of the geographical area for a purpose other than seeking work, she is unavailable for work. Further, as the primary purpose of moving to Bulgaria was not to seek work, she is also unavailable under appeal number 610-CA-69. Finally, although President Case number 1129075 states that we must consider the totality of the circumstances, the claimant has not provided enough evidence to establish that there are legitimate work opportunities to work remotely in Bulgaria. We should therefore affirm the AT decision, claimant unavailable for work beginning May 19, 2019, overpayment of $603.
Affirm the AT, claimant not available for work beginning May 19, 2019, overpayment.
Short form dissent.
242-0044, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be reversed. The claimant has been diagnosed with a neurological condition that causes pain and dizziness. The claimant has provided medical documentation establishing her diagnosis. The claimant's absences due to her medical condition were not misconduct connected with the work. Reverse the AT, no misconduct.
We should affirm the appeal tribunal decision. After final warning, the claimant was absent 2 more times alleging illness. However, the claimant did not establish that she was ill at the time she was scheduled to work, nor did she provide medical documentation establishing that a medical condition prevented her from working on the dates in question. Therefore, we should affirm the AT decision, misconduct.
Reverse the AT, no misconduct.
Short form dissent.
242-0386, Commissioner Demerson.
We should modify the appeal tribunal decision. I agree that the employer filed a timely appeal. As to the reimbursement issue, the job separation resulted from the claimant quitting part-time work to accept full-time work. Under sections 207.045G of the Act, had this been the claimant's last separation before filing an initial claim, the claimant would be qualified for benefits. However, the claimant's qualifications should not determine the employer's liability. Under section 205.0125, a reimbursing employer is not liable if the individual involuntarily left the last work without good cause connected with the work. Here, the claimant quit for another job. Quitting for this reason is personal in nature and not considered good cause connected with the work for quitting. Thus, because the claimant voluntarily left her job without good cause connected with the work, the reimbursing employer should not be billed. Accordingly, we should modify the AT decision, timely employer appeal, reimbursing employer not billed.
The AT decision should be affirmed. I agree with the AT that the employer filed a timely appeal from the determination in this case regarding employer reimbursement. The claimant would not have been disqualified under section 207.045 or 207.044 of the Act if this had been her last work separation. The employer therefore must be billed for benefits. Affirm the AT timely employer appeal to the AT, bill the reimbursing employer.
Modify the AT, timely employer appeal, reimbursing employer not billed.
Short form dissent.
242-1055, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be reversed. Under section 201.01121 of the Act, temporary employers send employees on assignments during employee absences, temporary skilled shortages, seasonal workloads, special assignments, and projects or other similar work situations. The claimant in this case had been on assignment for over 2.5 years. Given that the assignment was not temporary in nature, section 207.045H of the Act should not be applied. The claimant complained to a supervisor that the new bus did not have necessary equipment for him to drive it safely. The employer's failure to take corrective action provided him good cause connected with the work for quitting. Reverse the AT, no voluntary leaving chargeback.
We should affirm the appeal tribunal decision because the claimant failed to report back to the employer after quitting his assignment as required by the employer's policy. The claimant is considered to have quit without good cause connected with the work. We should affirm the AT decision, voluntary leaving, no chargeback.
Reverse the AT, no voluntary leaving chargeback.
Short form dissent.
242-2178, Commissioner Demerson.
The AT decision should be reversed. The claimant was discharged for using derogatory language within earshot of customers. The claimant provides several reasons as to why his comment does not constitute misconduct, none of which are persuasive. First, it does not matter that the claimant was friendly with the customer he was speaking to. The comment was unnecessary and inappropriate for a workplace setting. In addition, the conversation was not private as the claimant alleges because it occurred at the claimant's register during work hours in front of another customer who clearly overheard the claimant. Moreover, the claimant admitted that he probably should not have used the language he chose to use. The claimant had a history of discipline for being rude and inappropriate with customers, and he should have known that this insensitive comment could lead to his discharge. Because the claimant admits to engaging in unprofessional behavior, we should reverse the AT decision. Misconduct, no chargeback, adequate employer response.
The AT decision should be affirmed. The claimant was discharged for using a word about a customer that was overheard by a different customer. The customer found that the claimant's word choice to be offensive. The claimant was not arguing or speaking inappropriately to anyone and did not intend to use any language that would be found offensive. His actions on the final incident did not rise to the level of misconduct connected with the work. Affirm the AT, no misconduct chargeback.
Reverse the AT, misconduct, no chargeback, adequate employer response.
Short form dissent.
242-2954, Commissioner Demerson.
The appeal tribunal decision on good cause should be reversed. The employer registered for the hearing online, received a confirmation number, and was ready to participate at the time of the hearing. However, the employer did not participate because it did not receive a call for the hearing due to an incorrect callback number. Per the employer's testimony, it is possible that the phone number was mistyped. Under these circumstances, the employer made a good faith effort to participate and should be found to have good cause for its non-appearance. We should therefore reverse the AT decision regarding good cause. The employer had good cause for its non-appearance. Resubmit for merits testimony.
I would affirm the employer provided the incorrect phone number for the first hearing. This was a circumstance within the employer's control. Therefore, the employer did not establish good cause for their non-appearance. Regarding the job separation, the claimant provided detailed fact-finding statements denying the allegations. The employer failed to respond and provide pre-hearing statements. As such, the greater weight of the evidence supports a finding of no misconduct. Affirm the AT, no employer good cause, no misconduct, chargeback.
Affirm the AT. Employer did not have good cause for AT1. No misconduct. Chargeback.
Short form dissent.
242-3991, Commissioner Demerson.
We should reverse the appeal tribunal decision. The claimant was discharged for disclosing and discussing a co-worker's medical condition with several other staff members. The claimant had not been authorized to share this information. If the claimant had concerns that the co-worker suffered from a communicable or contagious illness, she should have taken her concerns to management or HR. Because the claimant violated the employer's policy and shared highly sensitive and confidential information, she mismanaged her position of employment. Therefore, we should reverse the AT decision. Misconduct, no chargeback, adequate employer response.
The decision should be affirmed. The claimant overheard a coworker talking about his medical condition, and she spoke with the coworker about the issue. The claimant did not tell other employees about the coworker's medical condition. She only warned employees about sharing e-cigarettes. Additionally, the claimant was not a supervisor. She was not in HR, and she is not a medical professional. As such, she had no duty of confidentiality. The employer has presented insufficient evidence that the claimant violated known policy. Since the employer has not shown misconduct, the claimant should remain qualified for benefits. Affirm the AT, no misconduct, chargeback.
Reverse the AT. Misconduct. No chargeback. Adequate employer response.
Short form dissent.
242-6267, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be reversed. The claimant was discharged for falsifying her application by failing to disclose allergies that prevent her from working in a laboratory. The claimant's undergraduate degree is in chemistry, and she has previously worked in laboratories at universities. The claimant is clearly capable of working in a laboratory. Standard personnel protective equipment and safe laboratory practices are all that are necessary for the claimant to be able to work in a laboratory environment. This evidence is insufficient to establish misconduct connected with the work. Reverse the AT, no misconduct.
The appeal tribunal decision should be affirmed. The claimant was asked on her job application whether she had any allergies that would affect her ability to work in a laboratory environment. Despite checking off the box to indicate that she had no such allergies, the claimant subsequently notified the employer she was allergic to mold. The employer accommodated the claimant by moving her to another laboratory, after which she notified the employer she was allergic to iodine. The employer's application states that intentionally falsifying any information on the application may lead to termination. As such, the claimant was discharged for work-connected misconduct. We should therefore affirm the AT decision, misconduct.
Affirm the AT. Misconduct.
Short form dissent.
243-3354, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be reversed. The claimant asked legal counsel to review a letter before she sent the letter to FAA, which was the employer's usual procedure. She adopted the minor changes recommended by counsel, which included adding the employer's DBA as the FAA had previously requested. Additionally, the claimant signed the letter personally because she had signature authority. As the claimant complied with the employer's normal procedures and the employer did not show that the changes were incorrect, the employer has not shown misconduct. Further, there appears to be some credence to the claimant's allegations that she was actually discharged in retaliation for filing a sexual harassment complaint. Reverse AT, no misconduct, chargeback.
The appeal tribunal decision should be affirmed. The claimant disobeyed a direct instruction from her supervisor. This amount of insubordination, which the claimant confirmed was terminable offense in the employer's handbook. As such, the claimant's actions constitute work-connected misconduct. We should therefore affirm the AT decision, misconduct, no chargeback.
Affirm the AT, misconduct, no chargeback.
Short form dissent.
243-5563, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be modified. The claimant notified her employer that she needed extended time off to address medical issues. Because the claimant provided sufficient information to indicate that the request was FMLA related, the employer was obligated to begin FMLA leave process. The employer did not do so. Because the employer failed to comply with federal law, the claimant's resignation was for good cause connected with the work. Modify the AT, no voluntary leaving, no chargeback, MBI.
Okay, I would affirm the AT decision. The claimant admitted that she was not told she was discharged, and her initial statements to TWC indicate that she quit. She further explained in testimony that her decision to move to Alabama was so that she could be with her family, which is a personal reason. Even if we accept the claimant's testimony that she was on approved leave of absence, she still served the employment relationship when she filed for unemployment before her leave period ended. Because the doctor did not advise her to quit or move to Alabama to seek medical attention, and because she did not complete the FMLA process before leaving, the claimant quit without work-connected good cause. We should affirm the AT decision, voluntary leaving, no chargeback.
Affirm the AT, voluntary leaving, no chargeback.
Short form dissent.
244-7184, Commissioner Demerson.
The AT decision is supportable. The claimant admitted not reporting to TWC his work and earnings during a short-term job, and he was aware that such reporting might adversely affect his ability to claim UI benefits. TWC records from his claim in prior years show that he had been previously warned that it was wrong to fail to report all work and earnings while filing for benefits. He was not misled by anyone with TWC. If he failed to read the filing instructions when claiming benefits, that was not anyone else's fault. There is nothing in the official agency record or from a qualified professional that would allow the agency to assume anything about the claimant's ability to understand the clear instructions to report all work and earnings when claiming benefits. Accordingly, we should affirm the AT decision. The claimant committed fraud, recalculate the overpayment based on the AT decision.
The AT decision should be modified. The claimant incorrectly reported his earnings in one claim week. At the time that the claimant filed the relevant payment request, he only worked on a one-day temporary job, received assistance from his labor union in filing the payment request, and had not yet begun to receive UI benefits. These facts all contributed to his confusion about whether to report earnings. Additionally, the claimant's testimony at the AT hearing indicated cognitive impairment that contributed to his confusion. Under Appeal Number 29792-AT-66, the fraud forfeiture provisions may not be applied unless there is a clear and convincing evidence that the claimant intended to misrepresent a material fact. The evidence in this case was not sufficient to meet this higher burden of proof required to establish fraudulent intent. Modify the AT, no application of fraud forfeiture, unreported earnings of $648 in only the benefit week ending 8/3/19, and recalculate the overpayment.
Affirm the AT, claimant's benefit rights forfeited from July 28, 2019 to July 25, 2020, recalculate overpayment.
Short form dissent.
This is the last unemployment insurance case pulled for additional discussion on docket 45. You will now receive the short form dissent list for UI cases on docket 45.
I move that we accept staff recommendations on the remaining UI cases on docket 45.
I second the motion except for those cases which I am dissenting, as reflected on the UI short form dissent list for docket 45.
I concur with the chairman's motion except for the cases on which I am dissenting as reflected in the UI short form dissent list for docket 45.
Motion passes with the exceptions noted. Thank you. I think that brings us to the end of agenda items 3 through 7. Let's take a brief break so we can reset for the rest of the meeting. Under item 8, let's move to item 9, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval of the Office of Internal Audit's charter.
Morning, Commissioners. For the record, Ashley Saugaville, Internal Audit. The Internal Audit Charter is a formal document that defines the internal audit activity's purpose, authority, and responsibility. This document should be reviewed and revised periodically to ensure all information is up to date and accurate. Today, I'm here to present the Internal Audit Charter as discussed with your offices for your consideration and approval.
All right, are there any comments or questions?
No, Chairman, not here.
Commissioner Demerson?
None here. Ashley, thanks for the briefing. Thanks for the briefing.
All right, is there a motion then?
I move that we approve the internal audit charter as recommended by staff.
Second?
You second the motion? Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded, and I concur. All right, let's move to item 10. This internal audit plan, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval of the fiscal year 2020 internal audit plan.
Again, for the record, Ashley Saugaville, Internal Audit. Today, I'm here to present the fiscal year 2020 audit plan for your consideration and approval. Starting on page 6 of your materials, you'll find the proposed projects as briefed.
All right, comments or questions?
None from here, Chairman.
None here.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the fiscal year 2020 audit plan as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I concur. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, this is item 11, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding recommended changes to the 2019 maximum affordable payment schedule for medical and medical-related services.
Good morning, Chair Daniel, Commissioner Alvarez, and Commissioner Demerson, and Mr. Cerna. For the record, I'm Carlene Geiger for Vocational Rehabilitation. This morning, I'm bringing for consideration and approval proposed changes to the 2019 Maximum Affordable Payment Schedule, known as MAPS, for medical and medical-related services. Pursuant to Texas Labor Code Section 352.054, Rates for Medical Services, and Texas Workforce Commission Chapter 856, Vocational Rehabilitation Services, Rules Section 856.57, Alternative Purchasing Methods, Rates for Medical Services, TWC is required to adopt rates for medical services based on cost-based and resource-based rates, including those paid under the Medicare and Medicaid programs. TWC must also provide for an annual evaluation of these rates. MAPS rates are primarily based on the Medicare fee schedule, since it establishes rates for most of the medical services that are purchased for VR customers. MAPS rates for dental services are based on Medicaid rates, since Medicare does not price dental services. Staff has completed the annual reevaluation of MAPS rates as described in the discussion paper and now seeks Commission approval on the proposed rates listed therein. If approved, notice of the proposed rates will then be posted for a 30-day public comment period before the Commission considers final adoption. Do you have any questions?
Questions or comments?
No questions, Chairman.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the discussed staff recommendations regarding the 2019 maximum affordable payment schedule for medical and medical-related services and post the recommendations for public comment prior to final adoption.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded, and I concur. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Moving to item 12, this is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval of products offered by certified community rehabilitation programs under the Purchasing from People with Disabilities State Use Program.
Yes, good morning, Chair,
Morning.
Commissioners, Mr. Cerna. For the record, my name is Kelvin Moore, Program Manager, Purchasing from People with Disabilities Program with the Texas Workforce Commission. We have before you Agenda Item 12, the listing of 20 product price revisions and 21 new products that are being offered by community rehabilitation programs through the State Youth Works Wonders program. Product items 10, 12, 15, and 17 of the product price revisions are being postponed pending price revision by staff. Also, all new products are being postponed pending research of added value to produce the new products. Staff is only recommending approval of the product price revisions except for items 10, 12, 15, and 17. Are there any questions?
Questions or comments?
No, sir.
No.
Is there a motion?
I move that we postpone the approval of all new products, and we approve the products' price revisions, except for items 10, 12, 15, and 17 offered by community rehabilitation programs as recommended by staff.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I concur with the motion. Motion passes. This is item 13, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the Adult Education and Literacy Advisory Committee membership.
Good morning, Chair Daniel, Commissioner Alvarez, Commissioner Demerson, and Mr. Cerna. For the record, my name is Fabiana Ramirez, Program Specialist with Adult Education and Literacy. Senate Bill 307 of the 83rd Texas Legislature regular session required TWC to establish an Adult Education Literacy Advisory Committee. The committee must be composed of no more than 9 members and must include at least 1 representative from both the business community and from a local workforce development board. TWC Adult Education Literacy Rule 805.43 provides that the Commission shall provide direction when appointing members to an additional 2-year term. 6 of the current 9 committee members, including the required representatives from a board and the business community, have terms ending this December of 2019. Today, staff seeks direction on reappointing 4 advisory committee members, David Barron, Donald Tracy, Samuel Keeler, and Tracy Berry to serve on the committee for an additional 2-year terms, and appointing 2 new nominees, Paul Fletcher, fulfilling the board representation as the CEO of Workforce Solutions Rural Capital Area, and Diana Contreras, fulfilling the business representation as Senior Director of Distribution and General Manager of Dollar General, to each serve on the committee for 2-year terms. With that, I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments?
No.
I'm excited to see Diana Contreras out of San Antonio on the board. She represents Dollar General, and so we're excited about that appointment.
Is there a motion?
I move that we reappoint David Barron, Donald Tracy, Samuel Keeler, and Tracy Berry to serve on the AEL Advisory Committee for additional 2-year terms. And we appoint current nominees Paul Fletcher and Diana Contreras to serve on the AEL Advisory Committee for 2-year terms.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I concur with the motion. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Let's move to item 16. We don't have anything for items 14 and 15. Item 16 is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval of local workforce development board nominees.
Good morning, Chairman Daniel,
Good morning.
Commissioner Alvarez, Commissioner Demerson,
Morning.
and good morning, Mr. Cerna. I'm Shanta Williams with the Workforce Development Division, and before you for consideration today are Workforce Board nominees for Workforce Solutions, Borderplex, Capital Area, Gulf Coast, North Texas, and Panhandle. Yesterday, we received notification that nominee number 1 for Middle Rio Grande withdrew their name from consideration for board memberships. If there are no questions, staff recommends that all other nominees be approved.
Comments or questions?
No, sir.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve board nominees for Borderplex, Capital Area, Gulf Coast, North Texas, and Panhandle, and postpone the decision on Middle Rio Grande as recommended by staff.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. I concur. The motion passes. And I'm showing item 17 as discussion, consideration, possible action regarding subsequent certification of local workforce development boards under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Again, good morning. For the record, I'm Shanta Williams with the Workforce Development Division. And before you for consideration are the 2019 subsequent certifications for 27 local workforce development boards. We will bring Middle Rio Grande forward in the near future when they are eligible for subsequent certification. In accordance with WIOA Section 107C2A, the governor shall once every 2 years certify one local board for each local area in the state. Subsequent certification is focused on the extent to which the local boards have ensured that workforce investment activities carried out in the local areas have enabled the local areas to meet the corresponding performance, accountability measures, and achieve sustained fiscal integrity. Based on the staff's review of the board's composition according to their local agreements and their continued improvement on performance measures, it is staff's recommendation